The used market is in rough shape, so I'm gonna have to go to drastic measures. And that only called for one thing. I'm going deal hunting. Let's go. I was going to take this off, but I figured let's just leave it on and build a PC like this. Today we're attempting to build the best $200 gaming and streaming PC, and I got pretty lucky, I'm not going to lie. We know the used market is a big turd right now. There's a lot of demand and a small amount of supply. I met up with a guy named Ryan at my local e-waste company, and he hooked it up huge. And at any of the recycling centers around the US, you never know what you're going to find. And each one's going to be priced different, obviously, depending on the company. So while this is going to be pretty hard to replicate, it's not impossible. Let's check it out. So my guy Ryan hooked it up with two power supplies, one 600 watt, one 430 watt, 7 4GB sticks of DDR3, two 250 gigabyte SSDs, one GTX 960, and one GTX 760. So here's the receipt. I'm going to flip it over. You guys are going to freak out. So I got two power supplies for $40, and I could sell both of those for $140 right now. I also got two graphics cards for $40. That means I got a GTX 960 for $20 and a 760 for $20, which if I sold on eBay, I could get $180 for right now. I also got an i7 2600 for a future project that I paid $40 for. I got the 7 sticks of RAM at $8 a piece for $56, and I also got the two SSDs for $15 a piece. So I was able to purchase the Optiplex with an i5 4570, 8GB of RAM, and the hard drive for $100. So out of all those parts, what are we actually going to put into it? We're going to put in the 600 watt power supply, the $20 960, yes, I said a $20 960, still crazy. We have 8 more gigabytes of RAM for $16 total, and we have the 250 gigabyte SSD. So with the $100 PC itself, the $70 in components, we are going to build an under $200, $170 i5 gaming PC with over 20 gigs of RAM, a 250 gigabyte SSD, a 1 terabyte hard drive, and a GTX 960. Try to beat this. the beast is done being built. We added the 8 extra gigs of RAM, we added the 250 gigabyte SSD, we added a brand new non-proprietary power supply unit, we got the Corsair CX430, and then we added the GTX 960. Now we're still sitting at a price point of under $200, so now it's time for the show. Let's get the games put on there, let's check out these benchmarks. So the first thing we're going to benchmark is Grand Theft Auto 5. This game is still extremely popular, especially on Twitch, and the modding community is insane. This game has really, truly stood the test of time, and the sub $200 gaming PC is handling it quite well. Through the first benchmark here, we averaged about 143 FPS. So as we move through town and it gets a little bit more graphically demanding, you can see we fluctuate anywhere from 70 to 90 FPS. Still entirely respectable, and I am pretty impressed with the GTX 960 and the i5 4570 in the Grand Theft Auto 5 benchmark. Moving on to Fortnite, because you can't have a benchmarking video if you don't play Fortnite. This game is still incredibly popular, and we're running it at 1080p medium settings. We're sitting at around 98 with an average of about 101 FPS. This is entirely respectable, and it's honestly a little bit better than I thought. I thought I might have to turn down the settings a little bit, but I was still able to dot kids just like this, and he should have died, let's be honest. If playing Fortnite competitively is your forte, then sitting at around 100 to 90 FPS is going to be more than doable. This game is decently enjoyable when it comes to shooting mechanics, but when it comes to building, I'm a bot, so I just kind of sit there and try to just shoot guys a bunch. But nonetheless, floating at about 100 FPS average is very respectable. So on to my baby PUBG. For some reason, I still just absolutely love playing this game, even though it's not as popular as it once was. This game used to be decently hard to run, and it wasn't well optimized, where I think that's kind of changed a little bit now. I'm playing on medium settings at 1080p, and I'm averaging about 75, 77 FPS. And if I didn't have the statistics up on the screen, I would have thought I was honestly getting higher FPS. I have the render distance quite high, that way I can see a lot of the map, and you can see the pixels of the characters are still very easy to see, especially since I can snipe them from that far of a distance. 1080p medium settings at PUBG with a sub $200 computer is absolutely insane, especially since it's the BR genre with a big, large open map, and there's a lot to render and load at one time. Moving on to Apex Legends, another game where there's a lot going on the screen at one time, and the BR style with a large map and a pretty large render distance. I have this at 1080p medium settings as well, and I also feel like this game used to be a little bit tougher to run. I haven't benchmarked it for quite some time. We're averaging about 75 to 80 FPS, and once again, just like PUBG, if I didn't have the statistics up, I would have thought I was getting higher. It felt really smooth, it felt really nice, and I was hitting some clean shots. Running the game at 75 to 80 FPS is not exactly where you want to be, but it still feels real nice, and if you are a really good player, this would be more than enough. So before we head into the next game, I really don't want to talk about this sequence here. I honestly thought I was shooting him and hitting him, and better than this, but apparently the gameplay doesn't lie. This guy made it for how long here? We're probably chasing him for a good 20 seconds, and I swear my crosshair's on him, but I mean, it took like 3 or 4 clips to kill him, and then I end up dying, so yep, Apex Legends is not my game, but it ran really nice, and I was impressed. And of course, we gotta throw in one of the most popular, if not the most popular game out right now, and that is Valorant. You wanna talk about the definition of a game that could run on a potato. This game runs so well on every graphics card I've tested it on, even like a GTX 750, a GTX 690 with SLI turned off. It's just no matter what hardware you throw at this game, at 1080p, you can get 60 FPS. I mean, it's incredibly well optimized. And with our current setup on this PC with the GTX 960, we're averaging about 185 FPS. And I couldn't ask for anything more. This is running just extremely well, really crisp. This game will run on an absolute toaster. Now we're going to move on to one of my favorite games, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. At this moment, at 11 p.m. Central, there's 412,000 people on. This game is not that demanding, and I'm running it at 1080p, high settings, and we're averaging about 115 FPS. With a 4th gen i5 and a GTX 960, this is kind of where I thought we'd be sitting, and it's overall just a great gaming experience. There's nothing else to say here. This game plays extremely well on this PC, so if CSGO competitive scene is your thing, this is a great PC for you. I'm honestly sitting pretty good right now. All the games I've benchmarked, they're doing really well, but next up we got the ultimate test. That is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We're going to play some Warzone. So with the GTX 960 and the i5 4570, I thought we'd be putting up a much better fight in Warzone than we are. This game is known to be extremely CPU intensive. It has an issue with not fully utilizing the GPU. That being said, the i5-4570 only has 4 cores and 4 threads, so I'm not really shocked I'm struggling this bad, but I was hoping for at least maybe 50-60 FPS. We're playing on low settings on 1080p. Was definitely playable, but was it enjoyable? Not really, especially after playing it at over 140 FPS. This is a huge map, and I have my render distance even set to about 60%, so I'm not even loading all the map, and it's still struggling extremely hard. I'm averaging about 35 to 50 FPS with some really bad dips in there. That being said, you know, I can play it, I could probably get a few kills, but it is not the ideal experience, and I'm a little disappointed in the performance that we got out of this PC when it comes to Warzone. So all in all, the sub $200 gaming PC is an absolute beast. You cannot get better performance for this price. Although I did get pretty lucky, I'm not gonna lie. As I said before, I got it from the recycling center, but I have no special connection or anything like that. I just called up my local e-waste company and said, hey, do you guys happen to sell to the public? And he's like, kinda, what are you looking for? And I kinda told him, you know, graphics cards, power supplies, whatever you got. And he's like, well, maybe you should just come in and look. So I did, and the rest is history. I ended up walking out of there with $600 worth of parts that I paid $200 for. And who's to say that you guys couldn't do that as well? Just call up and just look around and see if you can find anything. So you never know. If you think you can do better, I challenge you to make a better sub $200 gaming PC. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Peace.